State Rams. That's the first time we're playing the Rams in 14 years, so it's great to have that old school rivalry renewed this week. With me this week is our special guest, our defensive back Aaron Harris, and our center Cesar Monero. But of course, our special guest of honor is our head coach. He is Mr. Vincent Brown.
Thank you, Brian. It's a great day in Aggie land. It's a beautiful day outside. Thank you all for being here. First, I'd like to recap our game on Thursday against Wake Forest. You know, obviously, we didn't get the results that we were looking for. Every time we line up, every time we suit up, we go in with the mindset that we're going to win the game. And there are a lot of opportunities for us to have a chance to win it. You know, when you're playing these FBS games, there's certain things that have to occur to give yourself a chance to win it. A, not turning the football over, which we didn't. You know, so we did a good job in terms of maintaining possession of the ball, but you can't give up explosive plays like we did in the kicking game. So I felt like the punt return for a touchdown really changed the momentum of the game and really kind of re-energized them. Defensively, we did a solid job, but we didn't do enough to get them off the field and to create takeaways. And that's what you have to have. You have to not turn the ball over, and then you got to create some takeaways yourself to usually give yourself a chance to win these games at the end. But there are a lot of things that happened that I'm very excited about our team. Like, we showed no quit. We fought to the very end. Offensively, we were able to run the football effectively against a Power 4 team. We had over 220 yards rushing, and, you know, sacks kind of took the net total away, but we ran the ball very effectively. We were able to move the ball down the field. Actually, in the second quarter, we led Wake in first downs and total yards. And then we had an errant snap that took us out of essentially the red zone and made it difficult for us to get back down there. But the effort that our kids displayed, the ability to run the football, we got a number of different receivers involved in the passing game. We threw the ball to 10 different receivers over the course of the night. I think, you know, Kevin White showed a lot more maturity and much more comfortable passing the football on Thursday night than at this time last season. So there's a lot of really positive things to build on. And so that one is now behind us. And now we're moving on to getting ready for Winston-Salem, a heated rivalry game. And then, you know, Brian just mentioned it's been 14 years. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time we played, we lost to those guys. So we understand the intensity of this rivalry. They'll come in really pumped and excited about the opportunity to knock off a Division I program. If you look at what they did last week against their opponent, the opponent got in the red zone twice and only came away with 3 points. Their quarterback played very well last week. He was very efficient. I think he was 12 of 22, 152 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Also averaged like 14 yards a carry, carrying the football. Defensively, they got after their opponent, you know, didn't allow them to generate much in the run game, and they scored on defense. And so we know this will be a very exciting and challenging time, but we're excited about coming back home to play. And so I know our kids will be pumped and ready to go.
So you, Bill, your starting quarterback last week was TJ White, and I know there was some doubt going into what was the starting factor you thought he should be the starter.
Yeah, if we just look at the body of work that all the quarterbacks displayed throughout training camp, and we felt like Kevin had shown significant improvement, great maturity, great poise. We know about his athleticism, but his improvements as a passer, we felt would give us the best opportunity to go out and play the kind of football offensively that we needed to play in order to have a chance to win.
Did you end up playing both I said you would. What was your evaluation of Kwame and White?
Yeah, I thought Kevin did some really nice things. If you look, he made some access throws when the defense gave us the looks that we're anticipating. He hit some guys in stride at times. Justin came in and gave us some quality play. In the first game of the season, it's very challenging against a very good Wake Forest defense. The strength of their team was their defensive line, and we knew the passing game would have to be crafted to get the ball out quickly, to give our guys a chance to get the ball into the hands of our playmakers. And so we know there's growth to be had by both quarterbacks, but we feel really good that either one of them can go in the game and help us win.
So lastly, has that battle been decided now? Have you made a determination?
Yeah, Kevin is the starter right now. But as I said earlier in our CAA conference call, we want continual competition. We want our guys to not get comfortable, not get complacent that, hey, I've arrived. And so we're always going to keep pushing the envelope and trying to get the very best out of all of our guys.
Good for you. How special is it? You talked about the rivalry with Vincent State to start this again and play another tri-school.
Yeah, it's exciting. Everyone talks about some of the rivalries, especially with that other school up the road, but this one is as long and storied also. And we know they'll come in fired up and, just be able to come home and play. I know our kids are excited about being at home and playing in front of our crowd, and it'll be a fun environment.
Talking about coming back playing home, are you worried that your kids are going to be too overhyped when they step on the field?
I don't think so. I mean, we have a mature group of kids. We got great leaders and our captains that kind of understand what the mission is and what's in front of us. And, it's a non-conference game, but it's a rivalry game. And we know the things that we want to be on display, we need to go out and show them, whether it's against a Winston or a Wake Forest.
Talk about running the ball. For what you guys did against Wake Forest, how big is that? Looking ahead, big picture for what you guys can do this season on offense.
It's very important. If you make it to the tournament, most of the teams that thrive in the playoffs are able to run the football because weather becomes a major factor the later in the season you get. And sometimes you're just not going to be able to line up and throw the ball 45 or 50 times. You're going to have to run it 45 or 50 times to win the game. And so I think based on what we did last week, our guys have supreme confidence that we can run the football. And now it's about producing points, finding ways to get the ball into the end zone.
Coach, you mentioned that special teams return can be kind of a turning point in that game momentum-wise. Have you talked to the group just, if that hopefully doesn't happen in the future, but if it does, just how to respond to that better?
Oh, absolutely. We knew going in, there are always going to be these ebbs and flows that, things are going to happen good for us and things are going to happen not so good sometimes. And you just have to learn how to overcome some of those challenges. And, we weren't able to overcome it last week, but there's something positive to be learned from all of those things going forward.
And playing Wake Forest and WSSU right off the bat, two big rivalry games, just how is that going to benefit this team when it comes time for conference play?
I think, taking the emotion out of it and just concentrating on doing the things that allow you to win the games and eliminating those things that cause you to lose games.
Coach, what about pressure? You're an FCS program, nobody expects you to beat Wake Forest because they have 85 and those guys. You have 60 whatever. This is Sept has 45 as a coach, and to your team, do you think that represents pressure on you to make sure you win this game?
I don't think so. I mean, we want to win every single game. We go out with the mindset to prepare to win every single game. And if you don't play your best, anybody can beat you. I mean, so you have to make sure that you're doing the things necessary to not beat yourself first and foremost. And then regardless of who you're playing, go out and play your absolute best.
So what grade did you give the team overall this week?
what grade
You know,
from
A
the,
is, excellent, F is poor.
yeah, I mean, we didn't win, so, you can't grade yourself excellent when you didn't win the game, but, we know this is a very long season. There are a lot of things that go into the long-term success of a program, and I think a lot of what we saw on Thursday night is just the beginning of the things that we believe will allow us to be successful this season.
Coach, that slow mesh offense we heard about for Wake Forest, saw the full display Thursday. There was not a great deal of pressure put on the Wake quarterback or anybody in the backfield. Was that this anomaly from just playing, FBS offensive line, or was there anything from that game that you take away from your defensive line where like kind of concerned about?
Not concerned at all. Their style of play offensively with the slow mesh, it's very unique, and you don't see very many people running that system, and they execute it very well. You can't take anything away from them. We talk about making sure the things that we need to be able to do fundamentally are on display, which, for the defensive line, staying in your gaps, linebackers being able to run down and pull the double teams off the defensive line. And then on the back end, keeping height and not letting explosive plays occur. So we had a couple of explosive play passes to occur because of, the back end not playing proper leverage and whatnot. But again, those are lessons that we're learning, and we're learning how to compete and learning how to finish going forward.
On that back end, front team, obviously, the guy who's going to be talked about as far as in that field and stuff. How did you match up in that FBS team?
Carranza is a very talented player, but I thought Aaron Harris had the best game of anybody in the back end. Wake Forest took several shots down the field on him, and he never panicked. He was in phase and did a phenomenal job of breaking up the passes on the deep shots.
So as far as the special teams again, we'll talk about Andrew Brown. He not only did field goal duties for you, he also was your punter. Was that the game plan going in, or was that something to make sure?
Yeah, no, we knew Andrew would be a multi-purpose player for us. He's very talented. We call him Money because he's spot on making field goals during the course of the week in practice, and he also has the ability to go in and get us out of a situation when we have issues punting. And so he's a talented young man and did a nice job for us on Thursday.
What is his range? How far do you think you feel comfortable putting him out there?
Well, I mean, it varies, but, in practice, mid-50s is consistent. So, we want to get the ball in the end zone as much as we can, and we don't want those field goals to be those hold your breath moments. But he's got the leg to kick mid-50s.
We got 120 plus yards out of Christian. I think we got 74 out of my homeboy, Christian Graves. You gonna pound the ball on Mr. Sept play? I don't want to give away the strategy, but if you can run it for that much on weight, it makes you think you can maybe run it for twice that much on Mr. Sept play.
Yeah, I mean, we're not taking anybody for granted. We know what the strength of our team is, and we'll always try to accentuate doing what's best in order for us to win the game. And in some weeks, it's going to mean running the ball a little bit more than others. But I feel really good with our offensive line, and I feel like we have as good a backs as anybody in the conference, and should be able to mount an effective running game every week.
Coach, trouble holding on to the football this year, first game, no problem. What did he work on to make sure that ball didn't leave its head?
Oh, yeah. We placed a great deal of emphasis on ball security and ball disruption coming out of spring practice and throughout training camp. And I think Coach Bankins did a really nice job of preparing the backs. There are a couple of times where the ball could have come out, where Kenji got upended and landed on his head, shoulder, but he kept the ball chest high and tight. And, we said, look, if you eliminate those things, which those are the things that cause you to lose, you give yourself a chance. And so we're looking forward to him continuing that development and growth of hanging on to the football.
And you mentioned you have a strong stable of backs. You also have a quarterback, Kevin, who can really run the football. How important is that to just keep defenses a little uneasy?
Oh, yeah, it's important. It creates some real challenges when you have a quarterback that can take it the distance like Kevin can. And as I mentioned earlier, just seeing his growth as a passer is going to create even more opportunities. So people won't be able to load the box to stop the run game because he was able to distribute the ball very effectively. And he's only going to get better. So we're excited about the future there.
And those times where it seemed like KJ didn't want to really take off and run the ball, was that just being more just mindful of being a passer? Was it kind of hesitant? How do you do that?
Yeah, so I think we want Kevin to continue to develop as a passer. We know he has the running skills to take it to the house. And so, you know, we don't second guess whether he decides to pull the ball, keep it, whatnot. I just feel like over the course of the season, we'll see the complete player that he can become.
And offensive line, you had a couple of linemen who left the game with various, I guess, elements. Is there an update you can give us on the stats of the offensive line who got, I guess, hurt or injured?
Yeah, we expect everyone who played in the game last Thursday to be available.
Coach, there's been a pattern of you saying like a lot of improvement, a lot of growth, a lot of confidence. Is that one of the principles that you were focusing on when it comes to like preparation with fall camp practices leading up to the season, or what principles were you really driving home for the team to be prepared for this season?
Yeah, you know, our mantra for the season is chasing excellence, and we talk about your habits, the preparation, and your effort, which all influence the results. And so our guys have really embraced that. You know, we've gotten our support staff to a place where we have our sports nutritionists on staff. Our strength staff is fully staffed right now. And so our kids have put a lot of work in over the course of the spring and summer. We're nowhere near where we want to be, but there's been continual growth on the field and off the field.
Now, from the outside looking in, a lot of the fans that were watching that game said that they also saw like a very huge level of improvements. What does that mean that you have that support system from the outside, and these people were very excited to see you guys play this season?
Yeah, it means a lot. You know, we got great fans and great support system here. Everyone wants to see us do well. We're gonna do well, and it provides energy for our program when our players know that people in the community and the alums are behind them. Like I said, we got a long way to go, but we are energized by the work that we've put in, and we know that we have to continue to put the work in to get the results that we want.
I know you're big on the schedule and time management. Can you just take us into how those these 10 days now to prepare for your next game instead of just the regular 7? How are you going to utilize that?
Yeah, so it's always about us, and so we used our bonus practice the other day to just focus on us and work on some of the things that we need to improve on, regardless of who we're playing. And then we'll get back into our normal in-season mode tomorrow, really drilling down on Winston-Salem State. And I think, last week and this week, 2 non-conference games as we try to prepare our team for conference play is really where the focus is.
So you played Thursday, you practiced again on Saturday?
We did.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you all.
Hey, Brian. Let's say something from the media standpoint. Joe Daniels, for those who don't know, I don't know if you mentioned something.
I did last week. Thank you, though. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Coach. I'm going to bring up here first. Coach mentioned him in the secondary. Senior Aaron Harris. Going to bring him up first out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Just tell us, when you come up, tell us your your major and just give us a recap of last week, and then the floor is open for questions. Aaron?
Good afternoon. My name is Aaron Harris. I am a liberal studies student who graduated already and got their bachelor's in sports science and fitness management.
So Aaron, just tell us, like, what was your thought process going into that game against Wake Forest and being a matchup with those receivers?
Thought process was just trying to treat it like any other game. I feel like we prepared well all the way throughout the spring and throughout the summer workouts of just in practices going at it with the receivers every day, man. We just went at it every single day, iron sharpens iron. So, having that mindset of just being ready and being prepared going in, they might take a shot at you at any moment, and you never know when that moment is. So just trying to treat every play the same and just being prepared every time you get a chance to go out in the field.
You're talking an opponent like Wake Forest out of the gate, some of the playmakers that they have going up against, just how is that going to help you guys as a secondary?
I think it's going to help us in a positive way because, we got to see that early on, first game. So, we might see receivers the same way, going in. You might see better receivers. So, just like I said, being prepared, preparation is the key. So, you got to train every way the same way each week and, just to put yourself in the best position to be successful, no matter who you're going against.
Playing opposite Rob Prunty, with him kind of having spotlight on him a lot, you feel like teams are going to challenge you more since you're on the other side?
I feel like the main reason why they might is because me coming off an injury last year, just seeing how I can move and, how I'm going to treat those situations. But, Karan, KP probably not going to get targeted as much as I will, but, just trying to keep a level headspace, just trying to be ready for whenever those times do present itself.
You also handled the kickoff return duty, and I know you have one career touchdown kickoff return on your belt. Just describe that process, the job you have as a kicker.
Just being smart, for one, catching the ball is always key. So, after you can do that and then just everything else, just follows up. The blocks is key. So, and I have a lot of confidence in the kick return team, the blockers. So, just hitting the hole and just hitting it, man. So that's the main thing for me. I know I don't got all the moves and everything, but if I can get in the box, then that's what's gonna happen.
Did you get a chance to talk to Tamon and get any tips from him?
At the time, me and Tamon was actually back there together in 22 season. So, he was back there when I scored my first one, and I was back there when he scored his first one. So, we always had a good relationship back there. So, I could always take some good things away from him watching how he handled those situations last year, man. So, yeah, we always had a pretty good relationship.
Even with this Saturday in WSSU, just what have you seen out of their quarterback, Dalen Lee, and their receiving core?
They actually had a pretty good game on this past Saturday. Watching them, they seem like they have pretty good relationships. But, like I said earlier, we just got to treat it like it's any other game. Just being prepared. But this is an exciting game for us. First time we get to play them. And I actually found out today that the last time we did play and we lost. I didn't know that. So, trying to keep that in the back of our head to, fuel us and get us ready for the game.
I'm opener for you. What excites you most about playing in Aggies Stadium?
Just the excitement, man. Just, hearing the band before we even go out, hearing the crowd, and then when we about to run out, just seeing the stadium field, man, it's always a good thing to see and a great feeling, especially this being my last home opener. So, it's a little personal for me, definitely.
When you're approaching each game, what is your pre-game routine, ritual? What does that look like?
Well, most of the time I just kind of take a little time to myself, just, to listen to music and just, lock in really. And then, afterwards I will go around my teammates, just keep each other hyped, keep each other in a good headspace. But other than that, just trying my best to just lock in, at that point, nothing else really matters. So you just got to be locked in on the moment and just don't take any moment for granted.
You come from a very athletic family, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you talk a little about, I know your dad's a coach and some siblings, just tell us about your career.
My dad was actually a basketball player. So he played ball at University of Michigan in Siena Heights. My mom was a cheerleader though. My sister did play basketball. I was at Mid-Atlantic Christian University. My brother was a great football player as well. You know, he played Division II at Elizabeth City State University. So yeah, I do have a pretty good background of athletes in my family.
Your mom went to school where?
She went to Central. We're not going to speak on that right now.
I know that stepping into your last year as an athlete always means something different to you. What would you say your growth within the program has looked like, and how do you feel like you're stepping into those lessons? Would you say it's been confident, or how are you really feeling stepping into this season?
It's been pretty great, especially, I was picked to be one of the captains for the team this year. So, it's allowed me to kind of come out of my shell a little bit to be more of a vocal leader than just, leading by example, what I'm mostly used to, just trying to do things right for the young guys and, people to see just so how you do things. But, now having to, speak more and, just be more of a vocal leader for everybody else it's been a change, but it's been a good change. I wouldn't say it's nothing negative, but so just trying to push on that and just keep everybody up, man. That's the main thing. Keep everybody on the same goal, and so by the end of the season we can reach that goal.
Anything else from Aaron? Thanks, Aaron. Next up, we have our starting center, Cesar Monero. Aaron mentioned that he had graduated. I believe we have 17 guys on the team who already have their undergraduate degrees, so doing a great job in the classroom as well. So Cesar, come on up.
How y'all doing? So yeah, my name is Cesar Monero. I got an undergrad degree in construction management, and I'm working on my master's right now in information technology.
So game one under Coach Marsh, his system, what was the takeaway from that?
Oh, it's a great system. Coach Marsh has implemented into our offense. I love what he's been doing with it, and he's a very intelligent coach. I like how he wants to play fast. I want to play fast, and we're just continuing to get better every single day with his system, and the future is bright with Coach Marsh for sure.
So you guys had a big game on the ground against Wake Forest. Obviously, a lot of that goes to the offensive line. So what have you seen out of the group coming together so early on in the season?
Well, it's what we expected as a unit. We have a very well-established brand of football with our offensive line under Coach Mattis. I played with him for a very long time, and we always knew what we had in store for us with our unit. We have such a great group of guys that we all love playing with each other, communicate well, and we just play hard too. We can compete with everybody.
You talk about the offensive line, to be able to come out and push around a Power 4 school like you guys did in the first half. What can that do for his confidence that O-line heading into the season?
Well, yeah, it does boost our confidence, and we were expecting we knew going into the game that Wake Forest power, like the defense, like the power in their defense was their defensive line, and so we went in with that mindset to prepare with everything we had, and I think we came out very rather successfully, being able to run and pass the ball efficiently down the field, and it just emphasizes how excited we are for the future of the team.
Just like we asked Aaron, for you, I guess it's your last home opener. What excites you most about stepping on the field and playing at home?
I just love I love the atmosphere that the Aggies bring in at Truist Stadium. The band is fantastic. I love listening to our band, and it's really just the fans make the whole thing what it is.
Can you talk about the growth and maturity of KJ White from last year to right now?
Well, KJ has always been a very mature kid. I would say he has become more comfortable with his abilities, and he's only getting better.
Cesar, what has the continuity under Coach Mattis done for this group, just being able to learn from the same guy for all these
I think it's just established a certain brand for our offensive line, a form of just smash mouth football that we could just compete with anybody. We could run with anybody. We could pass with anybody, and that presence is definitely felt. So it's been a great opportunity to be working under Coach Mattis all these years.
What kind of endorsement is it for him as a coach, the fact that he's lasted for so many different head coaches here?
Well, it just shows how good of a coach he is and how much he brings to the table. You know, it just shows to his ability to coach.
Obviously, it's been a long time since you guys have faced WSSU, but just what have you heard about what this rivalry used to be like?
Well, like what Brian said, it's been a very long time since we last faced with them, but we understand that the history is very rich between these two rivalries, and we're just looking forward to play together again as a team. You know, it's football. It's great to be able to have another week to play. You know, it's just extremely exciting regardless. You know, but we acknowledge the history behind the two teams, and we're just looking to pursue excellence throughout the year.
Cesar, how much has the new offensive coordinator affected the way that the offensive line plays? Are you doing things a lot different this year than last year?
Yeah, we're moving a lot faster this year. We get on the ball quicker, and we get set faster.
And you think about what you did well in this way as far as who you was it the scheme that you the game plan that you went in with? How did you guys execute that, and how could you maybe done even better?
That's a good question. I think that the scheme that we went in was very strong. We executed for the most part. I believe that that we communicated very well up front, and I believe that we also throughout the course of the game we never faltered. We never lost sight of what the common goal was. So.
And when you say you move it faster, what does that mean? When the play starts from the huddle to the line of scrimmage?
Yeah. So we're setting the ball down quicker. We're getting set quicker, and we're going quicker.
On the play clock, what's the ideal number you want to see when that ball gets snapped?
It's a good question. I mean, I don't really pay attention to the play clock. I just try to get set as fast as I can to give my guys the best chance to get set with me and just fire the ball off.
So there was one errant snap in that game. As a center, when something like that happens, how do you just mentally, return that page and just get back to your chance? How do you recover from like that?
Well, yeah, I did have a bad snap that put us in a very stressful situation during the game, but football comes with a lot of highs and lows, and it's important to understand that you can't think about the last play too much because it will just continue to come back and haunt you. So it's important to have a short memory, and I felt like I've been refining my process and doing that, and I felt like as a team we've come together and we were able to come together and like still come out with a score during that series. Just shows that our mental toughness is there. It's got it continues, and we have a short memory, and we just are continuing to strive for excellence.
Was it a shotgun snap or similar? I don't see it. Was it a snap?
Yeah, it was in shotgun. Yes,
You take it on the blame for that.
absolutely. Yeah, that's on me.
Thank you, Cesar. Appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Alrighty, while you continue to munch down, we'll get ready for our radio show starring Donald Ware and head coach Vincent Brown.
Side by side.
fall. Look how fast they are.
The water's there.